There were 2 arms, 2 legs, 2 hands, 2 feet, 10 toes, and 10 fingers. And I thank God for that. The next 33 years, I kind of watched in disbelief through elementary school, middle school and high school, college, graduate school, and now through what's supposed to be beginning his adult life at work. And certain things became apparent from the beginning. Jonathan had a tremendous social conscience. He wanted to make a positive difference in the community he lived in and to society in general. And he had a keen sense of right and wrong. I'm sure there are a lot of people, and I know there are a lot of people, who contributed to this. I hope good parenting was part of it. But for the most part, he deserves credit. About 4 years ago, I used to go to Chicago for business quite frequently. He told me we were eating dinner with his girlfriend. I had heard about her, or hadn't met her. And we showed up at dinner. And Summer was very quiet and somewhat timid. Now that's not surprising when you have a couple of Krasnovs together because we both talk and we talk a lot at the same time without listening. So she got a pass. Over the next couple of years, I ate dinner with them quite frequently. We went to sporting events, Michigan sporting events. Then eventually we spent vacations together. And I found out that Summer does talk. And more important than that, she had something to say. I'm very proud of Jonathan. Have been since he's a little boy. And outside of a couple of hiccups where I could have killed him, I've always been proud of him. We won't go into the hiccups.
It was a deer. We'll go into that.
The bottle of 150 rum was not a deer. And the broken hand because you punched a concrete wall was, I'm sorry.
I didn't know it was concrete.
I'm very proud of Summer. I'm sure Autumn and Jeff are very proud of her also. And I'm sure good parenting contributed, just as with Jonathan, I hope, a lot to what she has become. But she deserves the credit. It's a match that I consider very, very lucky for everybody. And I wish everybody good luck, and I wish them a long, happy life together.
Cheers. Up top.
That's all you get.
I want to start by thanking Summer and Kraz for having us all here. It's a real honor, and I know we're all really excited for this amazing weekend. We've been planning, and it's finally here. As most of you already know, I met John at the University of Michigan. We met at a little white house, much like the one John's dreamed about living and working in his whole life, except this one was located at 1501 Washtenaw, not 1601 Pennsylvania. Though he was en route to becoming president of the fraternity council, not the U.S. at least anyway. Thus far. John, we still have high hopes for you, but now I'd like to say the better bet may be on Summer. In either case, until one of you are actually there, we're always down for a few more episodes of The West Wing to fire up some one-sided political debates. We really started to get closer once a large part of our college group had moved to New York, from trips to Atlanta to the Final Four, to summers in the Hamptons to spend time with Papa K. Thanks again for having us out there. We all continue to grow closer, then Krasnov left us for his MBA. At first, we were sad to lose him as a regular in the New York crew, but it wasn't long before he came back to us after a short stint in Chicago. After all, if you know Kraz, you know he belongs in New York. But he returned, led by the best addition we've had to the crew in a long time, Summer. She's a smart, confident, charismatic, driven, love to have fun, and make sure to call Kraz on his crap, yet still gave him the leeway to just be Kraz. Summer, it's been amazing to have you both in the New York crew. We kind of hope you guys stay forever. And all this brings me to tonight, where we celebrate the joining of two beautiful individuals educated at two notoriously historic basketball institutions known for winning championships and academic success. Well, with Michigan's 3 banners in 2 years and Kentucky's perfect academic success rate, Summer and John couldn't have better pedigree to tackle and solve issues facing the future of our educational system. Don't worry, Kentuckians. I'm sure Kentucky will rebound again soon and bring home some banners. Until then, welcome to the Michigan family. Oh, I lost it. Literally, I think I just deleted it. Anyway, I had a speech written. There was another Kentucky joke in there too, but I guess raise a glass to Kraz and Summer. I love you both very much. I really hope you have a special time this weekend, and look forward to having you guys in New York forever. Take care.
Forgive me if I stutter. Public speaking still makes me a little nervous, and I don't get any liquid courage tonight in my current condition. So, for those of you that don't know me, I'm Sammy Jo. I met Summer nearly 14 years ago, which makes me feel really old, when we were moving into the UK dorms during sorority rush. Summer pledged Delta Gamma, and I became affectionately known as a GDI, for those of you that know what that means. That didn't stop Summer and I from becoming partners in crime for the next 4 years, whether it was staying in bed all day and watching chick flicks, or shotgunning beers in the bathtub because we didn't want to make a mess. we were always there for one another. After college, we both followed our dreams, and unfortunately, we haven't gotten to live in the same city ever since. But distance has not stopped us from remaining close, and I feel privileged to still call her one of my best friends. For those of us that knew young Summer, I think we can all agree we worried she may never find her equal. Summer lives life to the fullest, but also cares about people and making the world a better place more than anyone else I know. And then she met Jonathan, and I honestly cannot fathom a better match for Summer. Jonathan is caring and smart and a hell of a lot of fun, balancing Summer in all aspects of life. I am overjoyed that you two found each other, and I wish you a lifetime of happiness. To Summer and Jonathan.
Dear Krasnov, after many a year of receiving your glorious email recaps at the end of an adventure, I thought now would be the perfect time for you to pass the torch onto some younger blood for a quick recap of the last decade-ish of our lives together. So let me start off by saying that, man, have we been through some shit. There have been moments that I couldn't imagine having possibly gone any better, starting with every weekend out to Fire Island and all of the Fire Island miracles that came along with those journeys, to the Cuba trip where you, Summer, Amy, and I did everything right, outside of that one little moment where we all got just a tad sketched out when we ended up in some random Cuban apartment trying to be sold an arrangement of cigars that had come straight from the plantation. There have also been some great moments which weren't quite so great. One of those, Dunkaroos, started out on the absolutely classic note of sticking our heads in a bucket of ice-cold water for as long as we could, followed by the obvious thing to do after that, which is shotgun a beer. That ended up being the most expensive case of beer any of us have ever bought, once we realized in the aftermath we needed to buy a new stereo system. There was also every trip in the middle of winter from the frat to Skeeps, in polos, without coats, just because we didn't want to hold on to a jacket at the bar, and these were in the days before Uber ever existed. Then there were those moments that started out a little bit iffy, but turned absolutely legendary. Like the trip to Penn State where we had no place to stay but our car, and yet ended up crashing on random couches and being a part of one of the best Jewish brunches I've ever had the morning after the game. Needless to say, a ton of my favorite memories in life would have been completely different if you hadn't have become my big brother in Pi Kappa Alpha over a decade ago. To Summer, I trust you completely with one of the people closest in the whole world to me, so while I know you're going to keep working to shave off some of his fabulous rough edges, I have to hope that you'll leave the occasional one around, because let's pause and be honest for a moment. You like to hear and even take part in the stories and shenanigans that come from those rough edges as much as the rest of us do. So let's all raise our glasses to Summer and Kraz and say here's to you both keeping the amazing times and stories coming together. Mazel tov.
Hi, for those of you that I have not met, which is a lot of you, my name is Megan. I'm one of Summer's bridesmaids, and I went to college with Sammy Joe and Summer and Taylor. And so I thought a lot about what to say tonight, and I actually, instead of regaling stories of college, thought that I would talk about the first time that I realized that Jonathan was the right person for Summer. So for many of you, I don't know, a lot of us college girls, we don't live in the same town, so when we spend weekends together, there's usually a lot of drinking and partying involved, and so you don't always get a really good glimpse into what your friend's everyday life is like. And there was one weekend where Summer and Jonathan came in, and we went to Keeneland, and we had a really good time, but they happened to be flying out on a Monday, so they were staying at our house, and on a Sunday night, they were racing each other to do the crossword puzzle, which I wouldn't be the right person for me. And then also just really having this in-depth conversation about work and sharing ideas back and forth, and the fact that you really found your match, I thought was awesome. It was honestly very inspirational to me, how you guys connected with each other, and I'm just very honored to get to know you, Jonathan. You've been the best tour guide whenever we go anywhere, and you brought out a softer side to Summer. She's always been very tough, very courageous, always been very proud of her. You are still all of those things, but to see a little bit of the softer side of you and more emotional side that Jonathan brought out has been really wonderful to see. I'm very happy for you. So cheers to Jonathan and Summer.
All right, so a lot of people here I don't know. So I'm Rick Bastian, and I went to college with John Krasnov. We lived in the same residence hall, pledged the same fraternity. So I wrote down everything just because I didn't want to mess it up. I had a lot to say. So, God, I might cry. All right, I don't want to. All right, what to say after 15 years of knowing John Krasnov? I'm going to give you guys a few anecdotes about what I think makes John Krasnov a special person. And for Summer, some things that I think that you can look forward to the rest of your life. To start, John Krasnov, or should I say Jonathan, which is apparently what you prefer to be called. You've never made a good first impression on anybody. But once you guys get past that, he is a relentless friend, and I mean that in every sense of the word. In Summer, your life will be better with him in it, as you know. That's why you're marrying him tomorrow. So, for the rest of the room, depending on your perspective, your life may be worse with him in it. But seriously, I, Rick Bastian, I would not be the man that I am today without John Krasnov in my life. That's a fact that he will never fail to remind me of. Krasnov has pushed me to think about the world in new ways. Without his help and his guidance, right now, I would not be in my career going on 11 years at the same company where he helped me get my big break. And I know that Summer can agree with me that John does not let people in his life settle for less. He wants the best for people that he cares about. They say that opposites attract. I don't think that's the case with Summer Schneider and John Krasnov. I've never met two people so ambitious, so stubborn, and so sure of themselves. And I mean that in a good way. Of course, we know that their shared love of education, teaching, and wine helped spark their relationship. But I'll admit they are different in some ways. For example, I've never heard Summer use Krasnovism like floozy in a sentence. one of your favorite strange words that you like to use. And I bet she's never tried to fix a broken garbage disposal by putting more food into it, which she did in college. And it didn't work, by the way. Don't try it.
It was actually a shot glass.
Well, the shot glass broke the garbage disposal. You put more food in it to try to soften it up. Doesn't work. I know that Summer Snyder's a braver woman than John Krasnov is a brave man. And I know because we were on vacation together in Panama. John refused to go with us on a tour to the Bat Cave in the middle of the jungle with poisonous frogs. Summer said, I'll go, and we didn't believe her. But there she was in a bikini top, shorts, trekking through the mud, brushing off scorpion spiders in the dark with bat wings flittering through her hair, and not a thing would mess up her day. Summer had a smile on the whole time. That's when I knew I liked her. Not until then. Just then. Right then I knew that's the one. That's the one that I like. Keep her around. So, Summer, just some things that you need to know, some things that are coming your way. You'll be able to count on John being consistent and consistently a little self-absorbed. Way back in 2007, this is just one example. For the first time in my life, I uttered words I never felt was possible. I admitted for the first time to someone that I know that I'm gay. Out loud to John Krasnov. And his reaction was to spit out his cold leftover noodles because he was mid-bite. I don't blame him for that. And in shock, John stands up. He paces around the room. He says, can I ask you a question? I said, yeah. He goes, do I look good? So thanks, John, for always finding an opportunity to make it a little bit about you and for making me laugh. And the last thing that I have to say about John Krasnov is that he has more empathy and more sensitivity than you will ever realize. For years, I thought that he had this callous outer layer, this tough guy exterior left over from high school when he had a Napoleon complex, because we know he was short in high school. He's gotten taller since then. I know you were good at basketball when you were 5'6", and now you're still good and you're 5'11". I get it. I've never seen someone so sad when his beloved dog Simon passed away. I think you even flipped over a table and broke everything that was on the table. It's fine, it's fine. Years later, my own mother passed away after a 3-year battle with cancer. And Krasnov was there for me. But not in the way that you would think. Not in a let's talk about it, let's discuss it, come cry on my shoulder, let's commiserate it kind of a way. John Krasnov, he knew what I was going through. He's my only friend that has ever been through the same kind of thing at the time. And he offered me support in that time, a silent support. He said, you never have to talk about it, because I didn't want to. A lot of people don't. But when you're ready to talk about it, I'm there for you. And I know that today, John Krasnov is still there to talk about it. So cheers to you, John Krasnov and Summer Schneider, and congratulations on your marriage. I hope it's a good one.
So my name is Josh. I'm Summer's younger brother. And I'm very excited to have a new big brother. I already have one. Got him a couple years ago, and I'm really can't wait to have two. I'm excited to celebrate these two this weekend. I love Summer and Jonathan both very, very much. They have taught me so much over the years. Being a younger brother, I always look to them for advice. They're basically two of my role models that I try to base my life off of. I always like to talk about careers with them because they're very successful, and they both care very deeply about education. And education is one of the most important things in life, one of the things I value most in my life. And all of you know, or all of you that know Summer and Jonathan clearly can tell that that's one of the most important things to them. I mean, you look at Jonathan's career, he works in higher education and helps make these higher institutes where all these people go to learn all these new things for their careers, and he helps make them better. I mean, they're the top institutes in the country. And then Summer, she's worked in inner city schools for so many years, and she went and started her own, which is just crazy. Like, I tell people that, and they're like, wait, you mean she started school? Like, and I'm like, no, she started a school. And so I look up to them, and I always am wanting to learn more from them, and what I hope that they continue to do in their lives is to learn more about each other and to learn more about their own lives through each other. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm Taylor. I'm one of Summer's bridesmaids.
And I'm Lindsay, also a bridesmaid.
So Lindsay and I both met Summer in college our freshman year when we were all pledging Delta Gamma. We were in the same pledge class, and that's kind of where we became friends. So college, I would say Summer and I, junior year, not good at this, sorry guys. Junior year was when Summer and I probably became the most close. We moved right down the street from each other, which meant we could ride to all of our DG meetings and parties together. Summer shared my love for theme parties. We were always the best dressed and had the most fun. Some of my best memories are all the time we spent together. I feel like we were kind of inseparable those last 2 years of college. We would go to the Cats games. We had our lucky pom-pom for the basketball games, tailgates, ESPN game day, Dance Blue, Keeneland, and then our spring breaks to Fort Lauderdale, and then the infamous cruise our senior year, which was a little crazy. And then after college, we moved, Summer moved to St. Louis, where we continued our fun. We went to Mardi Gras, and we went to visit her for Mardi Gras, and then St. Patty's Day in Chicago, all the places Summer moved. You're laughing at me.
No, right?
But no matter how far away Summer moved, she always made our friendship a priority. Ever since we graduated college, she always made it a point to come home early to celebrate my birthday with me. I'm so lucky to have you as a friend, Summer, and this always meant the world to me. You are such a caring, kind, and loving person, and I'm so lucky to call you my best friend.
So I met Summer also in college, but I really got to know Summer in Chicago. We moved there a couple years after we graduated. I remember seeing her at a tailgate in Kentucky and being like, I'm moving to Chicago. And she's like, I already live there. And we're like, we're going to be neighbors. So it was crazy. We spent a lot of weekends at the Pony. We spent a lot of weekends just walking around the city, getting to know each other even more. I remember one time we were in a taxi cab, and I'm like, Summer, who are you dating now? What's going on? She's like, oh, I couldn't date him because he didn't have this quality that I'm just needing out of a husband. So I'm like, all right, what are these qualities you're talking about here? So she had a list. She had the top 5. So the top 5 list of the guy that needed to have these qualities, it was, needed to have a job. We were, younger 20s, needed to have a job. Needed to have a college education, which we know, go Michigan. He needed to want to do good and want to give back, make a difference in the world, want to love college sports, which definitely loves college sports in Summer's life. And the last one was make her laugh. Jonathan, you do all of those for her. And we all of us here have noticed that and seen that, and we're all very, very happy for you.
So to wrap it up, I want to end with a tradition that Summer and I started in college, which was, I don't know, when we were at a party or just doing really anything we would always do. We would say, let's say hi to Jose, which just meant let's take a shot of Jose together. So Jonathan, we want to welcome you to that world with a shot right now. So cheers to Summer and Jonathan, and we're so excited to have you in our lives, Jonathan.
Oh, that's pretty good. Woo!
First of all, I have a question. Is everyone having a good time? Thank you. First of all, Mr. Krasnov and Schneider family, thank you so much for tonight. Thank you so much for this wonderful weekend. It's going to be a glorious celebration. I'm so honored to be part of it. For those who I haven't met, I'm Adam Fish. And I had the pleasure of joining Mr. Krasnov for his back nine at the University of Michigan, where we both earned our MBA degrees. And I think Josh really said it well. To know Summer and to know Jonathan is to know their dedication to education. And I was thinking a lot about this, and I thought, what do I want to say tonight? And I thought, you know what, Jonathan? Tonight, I want to share everything that you have taught me. The first is, you've taught me about the arts, specifically about the art of dance. I first met Jonathan in Split, Croatia. And I'm from California, and I kind of showed up with my laid-back California vibe. And I see this guy in hot pants and this way too tight white t-shirt and some like weird tan action going on. And just thinking, who is this guy? And he taught me so much. Did you know internationally you don't even have to dance with your shirt on? And then we got to Michigan, and the dance party continued at Rick's and Scorekeepers. And thank you for teaching me about the art of dance and liberating me to explore my artistic side. The second thing you taught me about was nutrition. Before I met you, I had no idea how much Red Bull the human body needed. I have never seen someone consume so much Red Bull to keep up with your energy, and it has been my greatest challenge as your friend. And so thank you for introducing me and let me know how much Red Bull I actually needed. The third thing you taught me about was honesty. It's always good to be honest with people. There's two examples I like to share, and one of them happened right here in the great city of Cincinnati. We were on a trip, recruiting trip to Procter & Gamble, and we were driving back, and we were talking, and this was kind of as our friendship was budding, and Jonathan said to me, you know, Adam, you seem like a really smart guy. Why did you go to the University of Arizona for undergrad? The honesty lesson continued. When we were living in Chicago, before I met my beautiful wife, we were out kind of with a big group, and I was on a date, and Jonathan felt he had some wonderful advice for my date. He said, you know, at this point in your life, you should really understand how to put on makeup. And so Jonathan, thank you for teaching me how to always be honest. But in all seriousness, what you have taught me and what our friendship has taught me is how to live a passionate life. You are one of the most passionate people I know. Your dedication to your friends, your family, your work, your love for Michigan, it's something that I admire, I respect, and it really feeds me. And I think that you've drawn these amazing people into your life with this passion. So when I had the privilege of hearing the first time you were talking about Summer, I knew that you met your passion equal. And Summer, your passion and what you bring to Jonathan, there's not many people that can match that. You match that and go beyond. And I view you guys as a true power couple, and I love you guys, and I am so excited to see where your passion takes you, and I'm privileged and honored to be part of the journey. So, cheers, L'Chaim, I love you guys. Let's drink.
All right. I'm Blake. I'm the youngest of the Schneider clan. I first off want to thank Summer and Jonathan for letting me be a part of this incredible weekend. I mean, there's a heck of a crowd here. I'm happy for the both of you as you take this big step toward your future. There's just a slight age gap between me and Summer, about 10 years. But it never stopped us from hanging out as kids. You set the tone for us siblings in work ethic and being successful, but not athleticism. I love you, sis. Jonathan, before Vegas, we only talked a few times. What I thought, just a big Michigan football fan from the city. But in Vegas, I felt like we bonded. a lot after all the soft ones went to bed after the pool party. We each probably had 6 to 10 Red Bull vodkas, back to the Red Bulls. I appreciate everything you've done for me and my sister. And take good care of her. Welcome to our crazy family, brother. I love you both. Cheers.
My name is Lindsay Pittis. I go by my last name Pittis, so if you hear people calling me that, that's why. I got to know Summer through Teach for America about 10 years ago, which is insane, where we spent a lot of time pretending that we knew how to teach children and playing games like Shot, Shot, Drink, which is exactly what it sounds like, and drinking alcohol out of lots of different sized buckets, and we had a great time. And I think we really became friends when we were roommates together in Chicago, and as I was thinking about some of my favorite memories with Summer, one came to mind when we were getting ready for a party that we would often hold at our apartment, and we had this great deck outside, and we would play drinking games out there. We had this perfect sort of tall bar table that had the perfect bounce for quarters, and we actually had snuck it up to a roof. We didn't think our landlord would notice. He did. He put up a fence with the whole chain lock to lock us out of the roof where our table was, and so when we realized this in the midst of getting ready for the party, I think Summer's hair was still wet from her shower. I think I had like one eye done with makeup. We panicked and we said we have to go find a table for this party that's starting in an hour. And so we went around the corner to Bed Bath & Beyond. We found the table section of the store. We started measuring heights and we started kind of seeing, is this gonna work? And then we dumped out our purses to find quarters and started playing quarters in the middle of Bed Bath & Beyond to determine what was the best table. And I think that experience illuminated for me Summer's commitment to fun, no matter what, how resourceful and brilliant you are, and also how confident you are in the badass that you are, that you had no shame playing quarters with me in the middle of Bed Bath & Beyond with wet hair, my crazy makeup. And I don't know if Mr. Krasnov, if you remember last summer, you said to Summer, you are my hero, and I just also feel that way for what you do in education and the brilliant woman that I've seen you become from Shot, Shot, Drink 10 years ago to today. And Krasnov, we talked about how you are an acquired taste that I have acquired, and I love playing games with you. I love debating education policy with you. I love dancing the baby bird with you. And I love how much you love my friend. So thank you guys both so much. And I love you guys.
Give a quick toast. I almost spilled it myself up here. So for those who don't know, Jonathan and I became very close friends in business school with Adam in Ann Arbor, where we painted the town red as we were predominantly single, eligible bachelors. This was around the time when we both had thick, flowing hair. So we've been friends for a while. As you all know, Jonathan has lots of amazing friends here. And one might wonder how we came to acquire such great friend groups. Lots of times when I introduce Jonathan to my new friends or tell them amazing stories about Jonathan, a lot of the times they say, so why are you friends with this guy? Like Rick and others have mentioned, Jonathan has a knack for first impressions. I think he often says inappropriate things and sets the bar very low at the beginning, which then allows you to exceed those low expectations. You can take our friendship as an example. The very first time we hung out in Croatia with Adam and others before business school, Jonathan took my sandals and threw them on a roof. And since then, it has been uphill and we've been great friends. But this type of strategy to gain friends is quite delicate. Because sometimes you can set the bar too low and recovery is just not an option. Such as during your first recruiting season, such as there's multiple times when you have provided unsolicited dietary advice during bathing suit season. And the one time in our first Halloween in Penn State when we happened to lose an invaluable jersey out of a cab window. Those are unrecoverable times. But honestly, when people ask why you're friends with Jonathan, the answer is very simple. He's the definition of a great friend. He's the most generous person I know, especially with his time. He always makes time for real conversations. He's someone you can confide in. He's one of the few friends that I have a phone call conversation with on a consistent basis, mostly around what type of branded eye cream to use to prevent wrinkles at this point.
I'm on heels right now.
Heels? All right, I'll have to load up. And Summer, as others have mentioned, I mean, you're the perfect balance for Jonathan to keep up with him when necessary and to keep him in place the other 99% of the time. Everyone has mentioned your passion for education and your careers. Jonathan lights up when he brags about you and your accomplishments. So you guys are a perfect match, and I wish you guys the best going forward. Cheers.
Hi, I'm Lauren. I'm one of the bridesmaids. I actually went to high school with Summer, and after hearing all these speeches, I think about how long we've known each other, and it's probably actually been like 20 years, which just sounds ridiculous and makes me also feel super old. We actually became really good friends after high school. We worked together at Texas Roadhouse and kind of bonded when we were out for one of our friends' birthdays, you know, getting into the Covington bars with our fake IDs and, you know, all those good times back then. And I'm just so happy we've been able to stay best friends throughout going to different colleges and living in different cities. She's such an amazing person, just like a strong, independent woman, and she cares so much about this world and wants to make a difference, and I'm just so proud of the person she's become. I've only met Jonathan a few times, you know, when he's come to Cincinnati, but I can tell he is your match, you know, through the crosswords and the Pictionary, and I'm sure you're aware, but at the bachelorette party we played some dirty Pictionary because we know how much she loves loves that game. But it was a good time, and you know, you guys are just such an amazing couple, and I can't wait till, you know, we can come visit you in New York and the Hamptons and kind of hang out with you guys in your own element. So congratulations, and I'm just so happy to be a part of this whole weekend and a part of your special day. Cheers. I don't have my drink, but cheers.
Hello, everyone. I'm Shea Martinez. I've known John Krasnov since my freshman year in college. Well, I actually met him my freshman year in college. I didn't get to know him until my sophomore year in college. So as you guys know, he's pretty much the worst person to ever meet, first impression. So it took us whole summer to actually get to know the kid. I think a lot of people have told some good stories about him tonight. I'm really thankful to be here tonight to celebrate the wedding, marriage, the life that they two are going to celebrate together. And I'm excited to think about the life that they're going to spend together, their future, what's going to go forward. I think that they're both going to be really successful in their lives. As John's dad touched upon, John's really an entrepreneur at heart and thinks about socially how he's going to affect people, how he's going to affect the community that he's in, and wants to do good for the people around him. Summer is an actual entrepreneur, started her own school. Really affects the community that she works in. So, great influence for him to have her. If you guys have been in their apartment in New York, I think it's okay to talk about this. They have the second bedroom. I think we all kind of know what it's there for. I think they're going to be great parents. If they have great influences to look upon. I think Papa K, I think some people would call your parenting cutting edge, experimental. But I think you've raised a great son, so the results, they prove themselves. Some people might have had questions. Summer's parents. I grew up in the Midwest. Your daughter's amazing. I think she has great fundamentals, and what they see, what she's going to have, is going to reflect greatly on their kids. I've never actually seen John or Summer with anyone of the age of over 18, or under the age of 18, sorry. So I've never actually seen them with kids. But they've taken great care of me, so I'm pretty much his large child. When I've been sleepy, John has tucked me in. When I've been hungry, Summer has fed me. And when I've been cranky, they've both taken me out to the bar. And lastly, I think we can just tell that they're both going to have a truly loving relationship with each other. I think Summer, John, as everyone has said tonight, is a really genuine person. They talk about his loyalty and what he cares about people, but really he's just genuinely himself. He genuinely loves you so much, and I can tell that the way he treats you. And John, Summer's the best you can do, so don't fuck it up. But thank you guys, and please cheer John Krasnov. Or Summer John.
There's one person that hasn't been acknowledged tonight. I'd like him to stand up. Brent Park.
Give it up for Brent!
I'm going to tell a quick story about Brent.
Give it up, give it up, give it up.
So Brent and I started at Huron together in July of 2013, and my company's public and cheap, so they made him buy a ticket to bring a date to the holiday party, and the date got sick. So he said, might as well give it to somebody, and he invited a friend of his from Teach for America. Summer and I talked a lot that night. There were a lot of other things that happened that night, but anyway, I came to Brent the next week, and I said, Brent, I liked your friend a lot. Do you mind if I ask her out? And he said, quote unquote, I am not skipping a word. He goes, he giggled, he laughed, he smiled, cocked his head back. He goes, you're both terrible. You're perfect for each other. So I think we owe a debt of gratitude that we cannot replace. So cheers to Brent Park for starters.
Thank you.
The second thing, the speeches tonight, everyone, thank you. It's humbling, and there really aren't words to define what it means to hear your friends and your family talk about you the way that you all have. I think that there was a clear theme tonight, at least on my side of the table. And so if there are members of the Schneider and Hunger family that still would prefer I not be here, I get better, is the theme of the night. The other theme of the night, I hope, was that Summer and I, despite our passions and our commitment to our jobs, we like to have a good time. So in the spirit of that, there's a whole crew of people at a bar waiting for us right now, waiting to turn it on. So enjoy your dessert. Lady of the night, any words?
I just want to say thank you all for coming, and thank you for the kind words that you said. One of the things I think that we have appreciated is that we have so many wonderful people in our lives who support us and are just amazing to be around, and we are so excited to have everyone in the same place this weekend so that we can be all together and be celebrating together. So thank you so much. And one more cheers to Brent, because if Brent were not here, we would not be here. So thank you, Brent, for introducing me to